Herman.
On giants is pissing off liars and scientists worldwide. Somewhere a celebrity did something. Someone killed someone. And our elected leaders are nowhere. Now the news. Or bust style.
Olympics, ugh. Haven't our standards for Olympic sports sunken rather low or gone too extreme for other countries to compete? And why do metrosexuals seem everywhere? Apollo Ono is now, quote, the most decorated U.S. Winter Olympian. Eric Heiden, anyone, please? And Johnny Weir is so gay that he makes male figure skating blush. Shaun White is totally kick-ass, and his double McTwist 1280 was awesome. Seriously. But is it sport? Fellow snowboarder Scott Lago left the Olympics voluntarily with a bronze after sexy pics of him and a fan hit the porn net. Meanwhile, skier Bodie Miller finally got gold and has the most alpine Olympic medals of any American skier, after taking a year off and considering quitting. Our hockey teams are on top, as are we. It's time for amateurs again, eh? Alexander+Haig may be dead. He told Ford to pardon Nixon, then took control of the White House when Reagan was shot. Alexander+Haig, the four-star general who served 3 dreadful presidents and failed twice in bids for highest office, yet became the dictator America never needed. He died last week at 85. Or did he? Dictators don't die, they merely slaughter everyone so only they may write their history. Think fellow psychopaths like Ivan the Terrible, Hitler, Napoleon, Disney, Streisand, Cheney.
This part of News or Bust is brought to you by smoking. Smoke.
Tenthers. Let's talk about tenthers. Ratified in 1791, state sovereignty was a late addition to the Bill of Rights. Long after freedoms of speech and press, the right to bear arms, and due process were proclaimed, the 10th Amendment appears. Quote, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. End quote. The Founding Fathers were basically saying, in case we forgot anything, you figure it out. Of course, this is now being perverted by teabaggers and other brown shirts, disguised as super caring citizens only concerned about our country. Repeat, they take no responsibility for GOP fiscal and moral bankruptcy and have no problem with Obama being black. Don't you dare call us racists. We aren't ignorant. Obama's the ignorant racist socialist. Coming to a state capital near you, tenthers with vague bills, much like the 10th Amendment itself, for scared incumbents to debate. Virginia has already passed the Health Freedom Bill, saying that no Virginian may be forced to pay for universal health care coverage. I wonder which HMO helped them write that one. Basically, you're saying we don't want anything from the federal government except for our Medicare and military and all those good things that the federal government actually does that people forget about when they're questioning the government. Somewhere, a meeting of tenthers is pondering a way to make black people do free labor, and elsewhere, George Washington is weeping. In related news, a man with tax troubles flew his plane into an IRS building in Austin, Texas. His daughter is now calling him a hero. And a man in Casper, Wyoming blew up his home before it was foreclosed upon. Don't call it terrorism, call it concerned citizens doing their patriotic duty. And that's why we're here. We're at the Green+Spring+battlefield. This is one of many scattered all over Virginia. Another site of yet another skirmish. This one held July 6, 1781. Brigadier General Mad Anthony Wayne and his 800 troops were walking along here, and they happened to just sneak up upon General Cornwallis's 8,000 British and Hessian troops. Mad Anthony Wayne, well, what did he do? He didn't run away. He charged them, shot at them, scared the bejesus out of Cornwallis and his men, and then he disappeared. It was getting dark. Cornwallis couldn't pursue them. It was just another one of those weird little skirmishes that happened during the Revolutionary War. Mind you, we didn't win any major battles during the Revolutionary War, but we won the war. These tenthers and other people who are questioning the government and so upset, so interested in not being called racist, even though they really just hate that there's a black president, they need to remember that it's a hell of a lot easier to tear something down than to actually build it up. Start rebuilding this country. You people are destroying everything and just making us look stupid. Please read a book, please. That reminds me, just south of here, South Carolina, tenthers are trying to ban federal currency. What's next? Books and basic common sense? Brought to you by Dave and Brad's Cock Powder. It's the original.
Because sometimes shit down there just ain't right.
Speaking of destroying things, let's talk about credit. Annual and inactivity fees are here. Credit card reform, yay! Long overdue, credit card companies can't jack up your interest rate without explanation or target teenagers. Feels a bit like the porn industry. Gracefully, these fine firms are already finding ways to suck us dry. They need to make up for that $10 billion in lost fees this new legislation has taken away from them. So now the rebirth of annual fees, and maybe the most mysterious charge since that late night you were drinking tequila and started dating those telephone dating lines on TV, inactivity fees. Yep, credit card companies now charge us usury rates for what we buy, and now they can charge us for not buying anything at all. Awesome. Ain't capitalism great? According to a new Health and Human Services report, the 5 largest insurers' profits increased 56% in 2009, and calls are being made to force them to either announce or get approval for rate hikes. How do we bring Americans health care? How do we save billions and billions of dollars? Shh, we're still at war. Don't talk about Pentagon budgets. Quote, they'll be tough. In efforts like this, they're always tough, end quote, said General Petraeus, Commander, U.S. Central Command, because redundancy is critical when you're spending hundreds of billions of our tax dollars. He's speaking, of course, of losses in Afghanistan and elsewhere, as Obama targets the actual people who attacked us, after we just kicked the shit out of some Taliban bearded back-ass pieces of poop in the Helmand province, booting them out of their own stronghold of Marja. Good stuff. Time to rebuild, bring these people education, Coca-Cola, what else? Walmart. Afghanistan definitely needs Walmart. Pointing out that 9/11 was planned in Kandahar. That's in Afghanistan, not Iraq, Mr. Bush, Cheney, GOP. Petraeus agreed that Gitmo must be closed, adding and contradicting the former vice president of fear-mongering, who had his 5th heart attack this week. Oh, Cheney, slow down, my man. You know, you're very tense. Maybe all those lies are catching up with you. Maybe you need to come clean. You know, relax a little bit, retire. Stop questioning everybody. But he's feeling much better. Way to go, Dick. Al-Qaeda has been diminished. It may be barbaric, it may believe in extremist things, but it is a thinking network. That's what Petraeus said. And it's looking for any opportunity to attack our country and our allies, end quote. The Price is Right was preempted for this. Action. Reveal a ruffled, slightly balding man in a suit coat and blue shirt, no tie, a bizarre ethnicity mix of black, white, Asian, and idiot. Quote, I know I have bitterly disappointed all of you, end quote. Eyes on camera. I have put you in this position for all I have done. I am so sorry. I have a lot to atone for, end quote. Apology over. Now turn on the press. Golf journalists boycotted this staged event, actually. Then Tiger fume about how they dared cover a celebrity scandal in your billion-dollar career. Quote, it angers me that people would fabricate a story like that. There has never been an episode of domestic violence in our family. Elin deserves praise, not blame. Please leave my wife and kids alone, end quote. Wrap with mentions of Buddhism, some semblance of purity, then remind us why we care about you at all. Quote, I do plan to return to golf one day, end quote. That's a wrap. Back to therapy with you, Mr. Woods. Maybe learn the world does not revolve around you, Senor Douchebag. That's the news, folks. We'll see you next week.